Hey friends, today's video is about how to start a novel. I'm giving you 7 different types of story beginnings to help you with that. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name's Kammi and I do regular writing tips and monthly workshops. My goal is to bring you the best writing resources across the internet, whether that's something I give you myself or in the videos that I collect from other authors. But I also wanted to let you know I have a little mini course, I guess. I don't know. It's free. It's on my website. And it's for those of you who have not started writing yet and you're still kind of in that planning phase and you're having a hard time transitioning into writing. So if you're in that category where you haven't quite started on your work yet, go ahead and check that out and let me know what you think. This video was inspired by this guest lecture on Brandon Sanderson's channel talking about short stories. So when Mary Robinette mentioned that there were several different types of story beginnings, the nerd in me was like, I have to know more. I don't want to know more. Well, I do want to know more, but I don't just want to know more. I have to know more. And so I was just like digging into it. You really don't find a lot on the internet that is like quality. I did find some articles that were talking about tropes. Yeah, I'm gonna go with tropes on this. Things that have been so overdone with story beginnings, but those aren't really opening types. Those are more opening scenes. So it didn't really answer my question on most of the websites. However, I did find this website, and I will include the guest lecture and the website in the links below for you guys, because I love you. You guys, I think I'm funny. Hopefully you think I'm funny, because I laugh a lot on my channel. So if it annoys you, my channel's not for you, because I also sing songs. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of go through them and tell you what they are. And I've got them here on my handy-dandy computer. Okay, so the first one that I found was scene setting. And when you set the scene, I think this is one that gets authors in trouble because, and Brandon Sanderson talks about it a lot. He talks about info dumping, and he's actually the king of info dumping, but he's the king of getting away with info dumping. He's really good at it. He gives so much information, but he gives it in a way that you still feel like the story is moving and it's still enjoyable. But yeah, setting the scene, I feel like setting the scene is a dangerous one. I think that you have to be very careful because a lot of times when someone sets the scene, the character's going about their everyday life. They're doing mundane tasks, like they're cleaning out the horse stalls, or they are going to school, or they're dreaming, or they're waking up for the first time. And I've seen a lot of videos with literary agents where they're like, just stop doing that. It's annoying. And I don't think that it's the story opening type that's annoying. I think it's the approach. So I think that if you're careful, you can use any of these. But it's just like using a trope in my mind, where you just have to find a way to use it differently than somebody else so that it doesn't feel like the reader has read it 100,000 times, you know? So I think it's possible to do a scene setting, but it's more difficult to get away with literary agents. If you're publishing your own work, then do whatever you want. I don't know. But agents don't seem to like it too much, so for what that's worth, there's that. So number 2, they list as conflict establisher. And this one is where you just really start in on the action. There's a fight scene or something like that. Depending on your genre, this could also get you into trouble. So be careful how you open with an action-packed beginning, but it can be very thrilling and very exciting. The other thing that can be an issue with this one is not giving enough information or giving too much information. So if the reader feels like they're drowning in the story, where they're like, I just don't understand. Everybody's running and shooting and I don't get it, then they're going to stop reading. But if they're like, holy crap, everybody's running and shooting and what's going on, then they're going to keep reading. So I think it kind of depends again on how you approach it, whether this could be a successful one for you. So the next one they list is a third person narrator. So this is pretty standard in older novels and things like that. So the risk here would be the book feeling old, feeling like it's not up with the times. I don't think that's a problem though. If you modernize this, I think this would actually be a really fun one. I don't see it a lot in some of the genres that I write. So, I mean, go for it. This one's kind of fun for me, my personal opinion, for what it's worth. Pause that. Neighbor kids decided to come and knock on my door, and they don't stop ringing the bell until I answer. So I'm back. So the next one that they list is first person narrator. So this would be in internal dialogue of the main character, basically, is how you would open the story. This is really trendy right now, and it's used a lot in young adult, which makes sense because they're all angsty and everything's internal. They're very character driven stories. The reason I would be careful with this one is I wouldn't want my work to look like a copycat. And I think that that's an issue nowadays, especially in the young adult genre. I think that was part of the problem. They were pushing out too many books that kind of felt inauthentic because they were very, very similar to some of the other things that had been done. So when young adult became really, really popular, they went from having very authentic, very unique books like Harry Potter and Hunger Games to, okay, now we're reading just the sixth version of Hunger Games. The Twilight was another one that was huge. Anyway, so now we've gotten to the point where they don't feel as authentic, and so I would be careful with this one if you felt like at all it sounded like it was mirroring what was super trendy and gonna go out of style, or super trendy and sounds like everyone else. That's my 2 cents. Write however you want, but I want mine to be timeless. I want people to go back to my book again and again. I don't want it to be too trendy. So this one is very, very, very trendy right now. So another one is the quotation. I've seen this a lot where they make up their own poetry for whatever world or whatever, or when they take poetry from a famous dead poet, obviously something that doesn't have copyright issues. I don't know how frequently authors use things where they have to jump through the hoops to get the permission, but I've seen a lot where it's free domain quotes and free domain poetry and things that they use. So this one's kind of cool. It sets the tone. I'm gonna confess, I don't actually read those. I don't. I skip. Sorry, guys. A lot of times when I see it, it's used to hint at something, but then it never comes into play in the story. And I suppose that's always kind of annoyed me because there's always something I've missed. I don't know if I just don't catch things or if it's just a little too abstract. I mean, I write poetry, so I get poetry. But as far as in the context of the story, I've always kind of been like, meh, I can do without it. And so if there's a quote at the top of the chapter, I tend to skip it. And the only reason I'm telling you this is because I don't know how many other hold on, I know my words. I don't know how many other readers skip this. And that would be my concern. If I were adding this, is I would want something to be interesting, but not so unique and not so abstract that people feel like, nah, I'll just skip it. It's not important to the story. It's not going to give me any information. I'm not going to figure it out anyway. I don't know, some nonsense about somebody said something. Anyway, so that would be my concern, is if it was too out there. Okay, this last one is the puzzler, and I now know that I skipped one because the one that I skipped is the mystery. So one of them is mystery, and basically you want your reader to immediately hit the ground running as far as guessing what's going on. So you see this a lot in cozy mysteries and some thrillers, things like that. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's a mix between the mystery and the action, and really they just hit the ground running with both, where your reader's trying to keep up. Again, the risk with this one is leaving your reader behind if it's too complex or if there aren't quite enough clues. So I think the goal with this one is to have your reader just right up behind you, where they're catching little things along the way, little niblets that keep them going, but not enough for them to see the whole picture. Once you start adding in nuances but giving little clues, that's when this could be really fun and successful. And you cannot at all tell what my bias is, can you? I'm writing a thriller right now, and so I have found my home with thrillers. This is a new thing for me, but this is my absolute love. I didn't know I was gonna love this so much. I write a lot of fantasy and science fiction and mystery and things like that, but I didn't know how much I would love thrillers. So I'm really enjoying it very much. So, so this is actually my personal favorite, but let me know what your favorite is. Let me know what your current work in progress is, or if you started it or not. You know, let me know if this helped you. And if it helped you, please do me a favor and hit like and share it with a friend. I'm doing the best that I can on my channel to bring good resources to you guys, and to bring quality workshops and whatever I can bring you to help you out with your work in progress. So on that note, if you have a video you want to request or a workshop you want to request, let me know. You know, just leave it in the comments and I will do my best to honor those, because my channel is here for you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye, friends.